All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's call the, excuse me, the Water and Lake Commission meeting to order for November 20th, 2024, please. Please call roll.
Commissioner Grindy?
Yes.
Commissioner Quirk?
Yes.
Commissioner Rapaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Riopel?
Yes.
Approved minutes from previous meeting, November 6th, 2024.
I'll move. I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
Thank you. Comments from the...
Bills and
or, sorry, bills and payroll.
All right, Randy. I'll move. I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
Nothing from the public. Steve?
I really have nothing new today unless you guys have any questions for me.
Comes Todd right now. No, I'm just saying I have nothing new for today, unless you guys have any questions. So,
No.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Your turn, buddy. Morning, sir.
A couple items. Our 2023 miscellaneous. We went through the final completion punch list again. Whittled it down from 16 to 7 items. So sent that to Holt. It was mostly just hydro seeding again, which the weather, I'm not sure if they got it done before the snow hit, but I'll have to talk to him and see how that went. But so that's there. Northolt's currently working on the 2024 miscellaneous. Northolt's currently working on the Hawks project with that tie line that we were going to be putting in over there on 8th. They're about 60% done with that. They were not able to do anything yesterday because of the rain, and today probably because of the snow. So hopefully they'll get that finished up here shortly before it gets too bad. We did also do a substantial completion punch list on the Industrial Park Circuits 4 and 5 project and the fiber project on the point, so we're in the process of putting that together. I don't know how much they'll get done on that this year either because of the weather, but that might have to wait till spring. Also had a note here about the Hawks project easements. Maybe Ron will give an update on that, where those are at. For that, we're still working on map updates. They're still waiting on 2 material orders to come in. They're spare bushing for the industrial park sub-transformers and some smaller distribution transformers. There's nothing urgent at the moment, so still waiting on those. I'm working on getting an updated estimate to Keith for a 5-year study. And then we'll probably be starting shortly on the 2025 materials plans and specs and the construction plans and specs. Probably we're bringing that for approval to the next commission meeting. So that's all I have, unless there's questions.
Questions for Todd?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Famous.
Well, I just want to say the city's doing a very good job on mosquito control this morning. I didn't see a one. But other than that, we're just talking about the Hawks easement. I did get over and I did get Kevin to sign those. They've been submitted to the recorder's office to get recorded, and I'm waiting for him to come back. Other than that, I don't really have anything else unless there's any questions for me.
Any questions for Ron? Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, sir.
Old business, year-to-date turnovers, collections, the boss.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I handed you guys all out one of these little sheets that I put together. 2023 are obviously actual numbers. 2024, I tried to estimate kind of what I think will happen through the end of 2024, with obviously the biggest variance for the collections and turnovers part. We do have a big batch to turn over here in the next couple of weeks, so that number is included, and then if we happen to get any more payments, that would obviously reflect there too. But so estimating to be about $3,500 more than last year turning over for collections, and as you see the split, it's about 50-50, sometimes a little bit more on the electric and water side there. And then, yeah, to date, I have about $9,000 that we've collected from various individuals that we've turned over. Again, that could change if a few more people pay in the next month and a half or so. So I don't know if there's any questions regarding those.
Oh.
Okay. And then for credit card and bank fees, just kind of reviewing, it was actually it was a really good exercise. About $4.3 million we take in credit card payments. About 70% of that comes on our website. And so that was a larger percentage than I thought. But as you see, they do charge a little bit more for credit card processing on our website. Overall, it varies. Each card has either a different per transaction fee and a percentage fee, depending on Visa, MasterCard, and the different perks, I think, involved with the cards. And then, yeah, over the phone, like I said, it is a little bit less, so less than 1%. So that's pretty good on that. The one thing that was also really surprising is the frequency of return payments. Yeah, so last year we had only 23. So far this year, we had 45, and just anticipating with how many we've had every month. Last year we had anywhere between 1 and 3. This year we've had anywhere between 3 and 5 every month, between ACH returns or NSF checks being returned. And how that process works is when a payment gets returned, we adjust the payment off the customer's account, and then we do send them a notice notifying of that. If it's been like their second or third offense and maybe they're up for disconnect, then we would also start that process too. And then, yeah, so, yeah, total bank and credit card fees is just shy of about $50,000 for this year. And then we did increase our budget for next year to $50,000 too to cover that. And then depending on what we get for a new payment system or a new website for payments and stuff and what those card fees will be, to be determined. So I don't know if there's any more questions on that.
I've got one. So if we charged a 2% fee for credit card, we'd have that covered.
It would cover a majority of them, yep. And in the current structure, yep.
We do charge them if it's NSF?
That will be part of the rates that you're going to approve for 2025, yep.
As of right now, no.
As of right now, no. I am proposing a $20 NSF fee that is on the low end compared to what other cities charge. Most are anywhere between 20 and 30. So.
Okay.
I'd just be happy if we get our money eventually. You start tacking on extra fees and whatnot, and you just make it that much tougher to try to recover the money. We lose money every year because of certain things, and you start putting the 2% on and some additional charges and that, and it's like you're never going to get it. So it's like I don't see a reason really to add it on. We do what we can and we turn it over to collections, and And, that's where it is, to penalize, the 2%, I get where you're coming from, and yeah, maybe we should, everybody else seems to be, but I just like to make it, if people want to pay with their credit card, we'll take the money. We're not getting a lot of money, so I want to make it as easy as possible to get as much as we can, so.
The other thing, too, really quick, I'll add is if we've had enough NSFs or returned ACH payments from a customer, then they are no longer allowed to pay by check or set up auto pay, just because they've had recurring instances of that. So then they have to pay by either card or cash or money order.
Yeah, so if we're making it mandatory that they would have to use a credit card, then why charge them the 2% for telling them they have to pay it with that? So that's where my take is on that. So I don't think it's, in the total scheme of everything, I don't think that 2% is, yes, it's a lot of money, but it's not as much as we're probably losing. So.
But it's got to come back to our rate someplace.
Well, yeah.
Correct. So
Charging
currently it
everybody
is
else
being,
for it.
yep, currently it is built into the rate structure,
And
the
that's-
50.
So now we all get penalized for,
Correct.
Well, we all get penalized for the ones that don't pay either,
That's what I'm getting
Oh,
at.
yeah, so. But Keith, you want to say something about that?
I wasn't here at the last meeting, but I listened to some of your discussion. I think credit card payments are the way it is. I mean, you got to allow a customer to use their credit cards, and I kind of agree with what Commissioner Quirk is saying on it. It's not an issue, and it really helps our staff when they have the credit card option and don't add fees to it. So if it became a big issue, because when I look at those charge-offs, they don't look too bad for a budget our size, and so I think the process is working, and I wouldn't advise to change it at this point, I guess. But we'll continue to monitor it, and because it's built into the budget, and we're meeting our budget. Most of the time we exceed it, so we're doing okay from that perspective.
I just consider it a cost to do business, so.
What was the other one? There was something else that was brought up that was kind of related, semi-related.
return checks.
And you kind of covered that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of covered all of that as one. So yeah, any returned payment, whether it's an ACH that's returned or a check that's returned. Yep. Or a credit card chargeback, I guess, would also apply. Since I've been here, I think we've had 2. So that's a very rare occurrence.
Do we do very many disconnects on the weekend? I was looking at because
No, we don't do disconnects Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or holidays.
okay.
Yep.
I see we have it built into our rate structure for that, but I was going to question, if we do them on a weekend, couldn't we just wait an extra day so we wouldn't have to pay so much to have it done? So.
Yep. The biggest thing is if somebody calls, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or after hours, the reconnect fee is what it is, to help cover the 3-hour minimum for staff.
We're covering our costs with it.
Correct.
When those situations are pretty tense sometimes, and so I've advocated to get it turned on, but make sure they pay our costs. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios that tie in with that. You have little kids and things like that. And so. I was looking at the total charge-off of accounts too. 2024 total charge-off 31,100. That's the total amount.
Roughly.
Yeah, I mean, and we have. I could look at the numbers. It's this next year's budget is 3.2 million water. It's almost 18 million. It's 21. Our total budget is 22 million dollars. And if you look at that for a percentage of the overall budget, it's not too bad. I mean, we should compliment our customers for the most part that they're paying their bills and things are looking pretty good. So.
And that includes both water and light and city.
That's everything.
I understand what everyone's saying, but I look at that, that's $100,000 to me.
Well, and then she reminded me to add in the city as well. So,
And then I look at
we've got good
CD
citizens.
rates, and I look at that, and I'm like, man.
And the time that our employees are taking to have to handle this stuff.
Yeah.
That's all got to be figured in.
Yeah.
So a 2% fee would not be out of line.
Well, let's keep her on the table, but at this point, I wouldn't advocate for it.
Or if we have to get Ron involved, that's even worse.
Yeah. You gotta make sure it's done
But
right.
Ron, you're worth it.
Yeah.
Well, what does the city do?
I don't believe the city does anything more than the Water and Light does at this point.
No, for right now, for credit card fees, they do not, but I know it has been a discussion for sure.
Yep.
Well, and most of the billing is coming through Water and Light, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but any like building permits or sports fees or any of that, yeah, anything paid that way, no. There's currently no fee. But I don't know if they've talked to starting it for 2025 or not. I don't know.
We're talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if whatever new site we get starts charging some crazy fees, I mean, we'll have to revisit it. So I guess
We all know it's coming.
we'll see what solutions, we get offered, so.
Well, in a turn of events over the past 20, 30 years, the main form of payment was a check. And over the last 20 years, we've evolved to the point where we don't want a check. We don't take check. We don't take out-of-town checks. We don't even want your check, but we'll take your credit card. Because it was an instant payment and the risk was minimal at that point. And I think we're still at that point where the risk is very minimal for us on a credit card payment versus a check. Now, granted, cash is, everybody takes cash, but there's some people that don't even want to handle cash either, so.
Yeah.
Well, the government's pushing for that too.
It is surprising how many people ask if we still take cash as payment.
Yeah, and does anybody ask if they pay cash? Did they ask for if they get a 2% cash discount?
No.
Okay.
Pretty soon you'll be taking Venmo.
A lot of people ask that, and actually our credit card reader, if you can tap and pay, it will take. Yep.
But it is some entities do charge. I mean, you see it all the time. You go out there, and if you're getting gas, went north for gas and got some gas, and they said, well, if you pay with credit card, I got to add the 2%. So it's
They
not.
don't give you a 2% discount when you're paying cash.
Yeah, so some do it.
You'll see your food bill at
Yeah.
a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, though, I don't think I think it's definitely helped our business to have the credit cards, and it makes the process pretty easy, so.
Does Venmo charge?
Yes.
Yep.
There is.
Yeah, all of them do.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have like a Venmo account, but I would assume the same. I would have to go find where somebody paid with a Venmo payment,
there's a
and I'm assuming it's a similar per transaction and percentage fee. Yep.
Because my wife does that crap, and I'm like,
Well, I think, that's kind of the common thing. I wonder if we shouldn't look into that a little stronger to
Yeah.
offer to Venmo.
And like I said, our credit card machine in the office, if you're able to tap your phone and pay, I don't know, someone used Apple Pay or something one time too? And
Yeah.
so, yep, if you have your card information stored through
Ven-
those various apps, it will run on our reader. Yep.
but to get them to pay with Venmo over the internet, we'd have to have a Venmo account.
But, because there are some people that, either can't apply for a credit card or they don't want a credit card.
Well, and staff they hear that when people if it gets to be something that is talked about a lot, they'll bring it to you, and then we can evaluate and go from there on those things.
Okay.
Can we pay with Bitcoin?
Not yet.
It's coming.
Bitcoin, yeah. Well, that's all I.
Thank you, Bree.
Any more
Yeah,
questions
thank
on that?
Nope.
No? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Brianna. All right, Halsted dark fiber lease.
So I'm going to get out of your way here. Can I leave this here? I can say approve, as Corey said.
In front of you, you have the proposed dark fiber lease agreements with Halsted. One is a renewal going between our central substation and this building. And another one is a new lease for a customer of Halsted's downtown. We are keeping our rates the same, doing some research. We are We are at the high end of the rate spectrum for rural community for dark fiber, so rates are staying the same.
Have you heard anything about another company coming to town?
Peak,
Like at the Grand Forks for sure, to start with?
Blue Peak,
Yeah.
yeah. They're over in
Have they?
Florian's old building.
Okay. Have they approached us yet?
They have been excavating their own fiber, so
They can do what they want now.
yeah.
Okay.
And then that would be as long as they're paying the right permits and get access to our right-of-ways, they can, is there anything we really need to do?
Interesting. Okay. Do you want to, do we need a motion on the
Yes.
lease? I'll make a motion to accept the two leases as stated.
Move. Need a second?
Second.
Please call roll.
Grindy.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Thank you, Corey. All right, proposed 2025 rates and fees.
No,
Oh, wait, Water Light Commission
Oh, we
meeting.
got to change the date on a couple.
yeah, there's a couple
Weird.
Water and Light Commission meeting revisions is the one that
Yep.
we're on. And so the first Wednesday of 2025 is New Year's Day, so we'd like to revise the commission meeting to the January 2nd, which is a Thursday. And then this summer, there's several of us that will be attending the MMUA Utilities Association Conference, and I think Mr. Rapez might be attending that as well. And that's on August 18th through the 20th, so we'd like to revise that meeting to the 21st of August. And so those are the two revisions for
We're talking January?
January 2nd and August 21st.
Is that August date also a Thursday?
Second meeting, yeah, it is. Because the 18th would be.
Could we do it on the Tuesday instead?
No, because on the August 18th.
No,
to the 20th
January.
Well, I guess we could switch it,
Oh, on the 31st?
but that's not the new year yet. Do you have a conflict?
I hope to God to be gone. Like out of town, see ya.
Well, if the other three are here, we still have.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There's so many things that could happen from now till then.
Yeah, I just think Tuesday might be more.
Like you said, it's the
problematic
31st.
maybe for others. But what's
I would leave it at Thursday.
okay? Well, let's just go with that.
And then August 22nd?
August 21st.
You haven't had any staff put in for vacation for that Friday or Thursday or?
Not that I'm not aware of related to any of that. We're just trying to get it out here ahead, which I'm glad we are, because we're having a discussion. And if we have to tweak it, we could still tweak it.
No, I'll be here. I'll figure it out.
Okay?
Let's see here. Water.
Need a motion to?
I'm waiting for the boss here. He's thinking.
No, I'm typing it in so I don't forget.
Oh,
So we need a motion for that, please.
I'll move for both dates.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
okay, thanks for that one.
Everyone.
Yep. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes, sir. Proposed rates.
Okay, so I want to give you a little recap of how we got here. So, as you recall, we approved the 2025 Water and Lake budget planning. And within that discussion we had a proposed overall electric fund increase from 24 to 25 of $504,487, which was 2.94% compared to 2024. So we know that that's what we've estimated for the electric side. For the water side, we had proposed increase in the budget for $142,548, which is 4.59% compared to 2024. So those are the proposed percentages that we think it will increase for 2025. Also with that same information, 5-year capital plan, we're proposing to spend $1,074,932 on a number of different projects. We've got the healthcare premium insurance, and I think, and that's one of the items that I'll talk about at the end. We're going with a different provider. We're going with ICRA versus the normal process. But at one point we had budgeted an increase, but I don't think we're going to be at that when we get done with this. But anyway, and then next year is the last year of our COLA, 4% increase for staff. And so all of those things are kind of factored into this process that I'm going to propose to you now. And so one last thing to mention is, as of the end of July, our reserves were our reserves are $17,684,577. Now, as at the end of October, our reserves are $17,621,688 and some cents. So we're about flat from July till now, but we are above where we'd like to be. We look at that number of $17,164,234. So we're a few $100,000 above where we want to be, and it seems like it's kind of from July till now, it's kind of stayed at that point. So that's good information. The other information to have when we're talking about this is the water balance. We like to keep, they did a study a decade ago, and at that point they wanted us to have $1.7, $1.8 million. And another way to look at that, the way I look at it, is the state likes to see you have 4 to 6 months of your reserves sitting in an account. And so we're at 800 and some thousand now as of the end of October for the water reserve, so we'd like to see that double. And so that's why when I'm proposing the percentage increase for water and electric, you'll see that we're proposing around 5% for the water. And so those are kind of some of the factors that I look at, and Brianna and I look at when we're talking about this. So with that being said, I'll get on to the proposed rates and fees. I sent documents were sent out to you last week with all the detailed information. And with that, I mean, I can do it by heart. I mean, the water side, we're proposing 5% on the consumption, 5 to 5.1. On the fixed fee part, we're proposing 5%. And then on the electric side, we're proposing about 3% for the energy. And let me find the... Got too damn many papers here.
You want mine, Keith?
No, I got it.
Just got to find the right pile.
Yeah. I've been on the road, so just kind of grabbed it and threw it all together. All right, so again, on the water side, it's 5% to 5.1% for all consumption rates. Fixed charge, it's 5.1% across the board, so that's the water. And then on the electric side, for the residential general, it's 3%. Energy, all electric is 3% energy. Off-peak is 3%. Commercial general is 3%. Commercial large power is 3% for energy. City general is 3%. City off-peak is 3%. And industrial large power is 3%. And then on the, there's different types of fees related to customer, and those fees are 2.86 to up to about 4.55%. The only thing that we increased additionally had to do with commercial large power customer and facilities fee, and the industrial large power customer and facilities fees, and those kind of tie to the amount of work that we're doing. And I know they Todd calculates the depreciation and things like that, and then we plug in a number. So for the facilities, if say they do projects and want to pay it over time, this is a way that it gets factored into our rates as if they wanted to pay it up front. And then with the miscellaneous fees, you've got those sheets in front of you. Brianna and Todd calculated out most of those, if not all of them. And basically the thought process there is to recover our costs. We're not trying to make money off it, but on a lot of the miscellaneous fees, we just want to make sure we're getting back what it costs us to do the work. And so I won't go over all those numbers, but you could sure ask questions on any of them, and I'm sure they would have the answer for you on that. And I guess with that, so I'm proposing as presented, I'm proposing roughly 3% for the electric and then more for some of the facilities and 5% plus or minus for the fixed and the consumer for the water. Hope I covered it all. If you have questions, we can sure answer them.
Keith, I'm assuming our reserves are in an interest-bearing account?
Well, we try to maximize the interest on everything we have. Brianna does a great job with that.
And remember, she sent that out yesterday.
And you got
wasn't
that?
it?
Yeah. That was sent out to you yesterday. So, and I think the number was 500,000-600,000 over where.
That was just so people know.
Yeah, and we've been that's kind of the rule of thumb that we always look at. We try to.
Yep.
So, and I've said to you in an email prior, just kind of discussion on my thoughts, that I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot. But keep in mind, next year we're going to have negotiations again. We don't know where this insurance thing is going. And we're talking about new software, which Water and Light pays for the entire city. And so we do have expenses, but we're sitting in a pretty good spot. And so hopefully next year, if things go the way we think, we'll come back with you with a smaller increase, for sure. It could be 0 to 2 on the electric, and maybe the water's back down to 3. We'll see how that budget, the balance of the water comes up. So we're sitting okay.
Hopefully after this inflation settles down, we'll level out some.
Yeah, we did a heck of a lot of work. I've been saying that over and over again, and now we're kind of going into the benefit of that. And so maintain our system, and staff keep doing what they're doing, and it's kind of turning out the way we thought it would.
I'll go out on a limb on your health insurance. I don't think it's going to cost us anymore.
No,
It's going to be almost just break even.
It just, from my perspective, looking at that'll be a negotiation item with the union, I'm sure, because it's a percentage of what it costs an employee.
Right.
Back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, they used to pay a single coverage. I'll just throw that out there, and we don't even hardly get to that point now. So, but we'll tackle that when it gets to it, September maybe. So that's what I'm proposing. So
you're looking for a motion?
I'll move to accept the new rates for next year.
as presented.
As presented.
As presented.
And then instruct staff to draft resolutions and get all that done and sent off.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you guys for your hard work.
Hard work.
Yeah.
All right, department heads. Todd.
Morning.
Morning, Todd.
Well, the water crews still been putting in a few meters. We sent the last round of notes out. So, we started out with a little over 200. I think Tyler said we're a little under 80 or 80 installed now. So if we can get to that 100 mark, that'd be good. And we'll go after the rest of them in the spring. And then also the water crews were marking the hydrants and pumping the hydrants down. We did have a street light pole we had to take down, and an anchor that was removed because they where the gas went through on 2nd and 3rd, they crushed the sewer there for the paste painting building. So they did get the repairs made to the sewer, and we were able to reinstall the anchor and the light before the snow came. So the guys got that done on Monday. And we did trench the last service that we had as of now on Monday. So that was done. There's usually somebody else who pops another hole later on in the year, but that's done for now. And then Jamie David, he did take his Class D water test and he got his certification back. He did pass, so that's good. And then as Todd mentioned, North Holt, they started on the project there on that loop. So they do have quite a bit of that done. Hopefully we can get that in and get it terminated before the weather gets really bad here. And then the crews were out, got all the Christmas decorations up. They have the Holly Dazzle Parade on Sunday. That starts around 5:30, so we have a truck and everything in that also. And then we did have some streetlight bases that were around the Terrace and Burlington Drive that were busted in half. They were the single poles. Frost has moved them around. We had 14 of them repaired, so they rebarred them this time and put the slip joint around them, so hopefully that'll take care of it. And they did put some insulation underneath there, so hopefully it'll go another 20 years before that happens. Other than that, that's about all I have, unless you have any questions.
Questions for Todd?
No.
Thank you, sir. Brian?
Morning.
Morning, Brian.
Just like to start by saying that all the Minnesota Department of Health required samples have been collected and sent for analysis. We have also done some investigative lead sampling from around the system. And so far, all have returned with low to nearly undetectable lead levels. Then yesterday, we held the 2025 chemical bid opening. It appears we don't have any substantial cost increases for next year, and I'll have a full report on that for our next meeting. Touching on a little bit what Todd mentioned there, Nick McNellis celebrated his 6-month anniversary with the Water and Light last week, and also we learned that he passed his Class A water operator's license. I want to acknowledge him on that fact.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then lastly, coming up next week, I have a LAWA Technical Advisory Committee meeting and a board meeting. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Questions for Brian? Thank you, sir. Brianna, anything else?
I'll just be real quick, just to touch on what Ray Pell was asking about. Yes, we do keep, we do get a decent rate from our local bank, but anytime we have excess extra cash sitting there, and I know we aren't going to maybe be paying for a big wire order or a vehicle or some big item coming up, I do move money back and forth from 4M. That's our most liquid fund to be able to transfer back and forth from. And yeah, because for the longest time, I mean, we were getting still well over 5% from there. It is a little under that now, but yeah, so I do it through Kristen, so there's always someone that knows, you know, when money is moving back and forth and stuff like that. So yeah. Unless there's anything further on those questions.
You guys are doing an excellent job.
Just been busy with, yeah, the rates and everything else, so.
Anything else for Brianna? Well, thanks, Brianna.
Thank you.
Jordan?
Morning.
Morning, Jordan.
Just a few quick updates here. 2 Wednesdays ago on the 6th, we had our final meeting for that MMUA scholarship. Had that draft finalized, so that should have went to the board this month. Then back on the 7th, I met with the Forks Builder Association Executive Committee just about an open board position in the future and some ideas we can collaborate as well. So I'm hoping to hear back on that soon. Looking at our rebates, these are all residential. I had quite a bit of weatherization projects, so last minute forms for the windows put in the fall, late summer. So it's glad to get a lot of those taken care of, and I've been working with TrueCheck, Alec, and Greg's. They've been a great help in either promoting our program or getting the permits to me ahead of time so I can reach out to the customer, so it's been very beneficial. So you take a look there, it's about $3,400 in residential for this go-around. Yesterday I was at the Family Resource Center just promoting energy efficiency. They had a lot of kids and families there. Tri-Valley, Polk County, just some resources in the area, so it was a good event just to kind of get our name out there and let everyone know what we offer and how we're able to help out. This morning I have a meeting with the Department of Commerce regarding changes to the ECO program for the rebates. So this is going to be 2024 legislation as well as technical guidance. So we're going to be reviewing that this morning. And then, like Todd said, we have the Holly Dazzle Parade on Sunday afternoon, late afternoon. Any questions?
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Corey, you have anything?
We had a group here from Eaton 2 weeks ago to do training as part of their as part of their closeout of our implementation project. They've also resolved a few ongoing issues we've had, commencing today with a update to our Eaton AMI and the load management system. After this, we will be moved on to their support group instead of our implementation group, as we're down to our last 100 water meters. Chris is finishing up terminating and integrating some of the fiber that was put in over the summer, and then work's continuing on the software RFP. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keith.
I don't really have much else. I was at MMPA board meeting yesterday. We had some lively discussion as far as how we proceed with the future with the elections that took place and what does that mean for renewables, et cetera. And so, long story short, it means like we're going to keep pursuing the way we have been, but be cautious about what we spend money on. But we had a great year last year there as well. I don't think we had any increases at all there, other than the wheeling charge, and so that sure helped us here on our end. So they're doing a good job, and I'm happy that we have them, Avant, as our administrators. So we hired a new attorney, so hopefully the attorney will be around for the next decade or so. And I thought that was a real good fit. We got an individual that had been working with us for several years in the past, and trying to find an attorney to do that kind of a niche is pretty hard to come by, and I think we're all, as a board, real happy with what we found. So things are going good that way. We talked a little bit about the health insurance. So far, Brianna and I have been discussing that, and there's nothing that's really that we can't handle at this point. But if there's something that comes up here, we're going to have a meeting here next week with Reed and Terry. If there's something that we need an answer from the board for, we'll reach out to you. But at this point, we don't know what that is, if there is anything. So I've told staff that it's kind of a bridge year for the insurance, because we're going to go with this new ICRA. They voted on it, and so that's what we're going to go with. And there's 1 year, and then we'll be coming into our negotiations and discussions at that point. So just trying to get to the next year.
We settled with 2 unions yesterday. We've got meetings tomorrow with the other 2. We don't see any problems rising.
All right, and so then we kind of look to them a little bit, but then we're also independent of them as well. And we've had pretty good luck with the union, and hopeful that will continue as the next negotiations begin. So it's kind of what I have. I guess glad to be back before the snow hit. So back at her.
Anything else for Keith?
No.
Commissioner reports, anything?
I just want to thank the department heads that I've had a chance to sit down with so far. Brian, Brianna, Keith, a little bit, Corey, and then today I'll have the opportunity to sit down with Todd and Todd. So thank you for the time that you've allotted. Appreciate it.
All right, motion to adjourn till December 4th.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy.
Yes.
Quirk.
Yes.
Rapaz.
Yes.
Riopel.
Yes.
One day I go for double.
Go where?
Double.